Hi there, on this screencast I'm going to show you how to make the pipes and make them move across the screen. So the first thing I did was I created two new subclasses of actor. One was called top pipe and one was called bottom pipe. And then I went into the top pipe class and I added this code in its act method. Basically, the first line gets the world that the pipe lives in, then checks to see if the game state variable of the world is set to be running, and then moves, if it is, repositions the pipe 2 pixels to the left of where it was before. So then I copied and pasted that code into the code for bottom pipe. So if I go and let's see, open bottom pipe, I'm going to see the exact same thing. So bottom pipe has the exact same code. Alright, so now one thing I need to be careful about is layering, because the background objects at the bottom of the screen need to appear over on top of the pipe, the bottom pipe. I need to go into my world and make sure I set the layering of my class objects to be the way I want them, and the way so that the background's going to cover the pipe. So I do that by going into my world and I add this line of code right here, set paint order, and then I'm going to put bird.class, background.class, top pipe.class, and bottom pipe.class. So that makes sure the bird is always on top of everything. The background is on top of, which are the brown arrows down at the bottom of the screen, appear over both types of pipe objects. Alright, so I added the code that's going to cause the pipes to be generated when the game is running. So let me go over what that actually is. So to begin with, I turned the act method of my world into the if statement that we're familiar with, where I have if the game state is startup, do check for the space key to be pressed, else if the game state equals running, and then what goes on there is the pipes are continually generated. So and set moving across the screen. So how do we do that? Okay, well, what I did was I declared two int variables. One's called pipe count and one's called wait time. So basically, when the game is running, what's going to go on is this pipe count value is going to constantly be counting upward to some random number that is assigned to wait time. When it finally hits wait time, we will create two new pipes and position them and add them to the world off the right edge of the screen so that they'll start moving across, because that's what's in their act methods. All right, and then not only do we add them to the screen, but we set the whole process, reset the whole process. We set pipe count back to 0 and we generate a new wait time. So so in the constructor, I actually set pipe count to be 0 and wait time to be 50 plus greenfoot.getRandomNumber 50. So these two lines of code right here. Alright, so now when the game goes into running mode, I start increasing pipe count by 1, and I say, okay, if pipe count is equal to wait time, well, then I want to set pipe count back to 0, generate a new wait time, and then finally I create a top pipe and a bottom pipe, and I add them to the world in this fashion. So let me explain what these numbers are. So get width plus 50, that's an easy one. That's just 50 pixels off the edge of the screen. And then I generate a random number between 0 and 50, and I add that to negative 100. So that's where I position the center of the top pillar. All right, so if it generates 50, then it's going to be the center of the top pillar is going to be 50 pixels off the top of the screen, because negative 100 plus, oops, negative 100 plus 50 is going to give you negative 50. So the furthest down the top pillar can be added to the screen is with its center being negative 50 pixels off the top. Then I add the bottom pipe to the world at a position that's equal to the center of where the y coordinate of the top pipe plus the length of its image plus another 200. And I did the math. That seemed to work. You can tweak your numbers in any way that you want, but this seems to work at least at a basic level. So when I run it, here's what happens. All right. All right, and that is it.